Shalom, family. This video, I pray all is well with you and your family. This video today is to talk about the so-called Black people, the so-called African Americans. I know a lot of us believe that we are descendants of this land that they call America before it was, colonized and taken over. And then a lot of us know, like myself, that on my mom's side, we are of the descendants, we're of the lineage by DNA, Fulani and Yoruba people out of Nigeria, which actually that's a colonizer name, Nigeria, but the real name of that region that they call Nigeria is called Yoruba land. Okay, and of course we know above a part of that, and actually above that on historical maps, where all of Mali and Niger and Chad and Senegal and all that type of stuff was called Negro land. Now, the map Tartaria, if you haven't gotten a chance, go look at the map Tartaria, if I'm saying the name right, where the continents were connected. You can actually look at the east coast of America and then look at the west coast of Africa, and you can see that you can fit them together like you would a puzzle. Okay? We know that here in so-called America, so-called United States of America, that there were copper-colored people, so-called black people, melanated people that were already on this continent. We know in the Bible that the original people that was created in the likeness of Yahuwah Elohim, who is considered to be melanated because he said so himself in the book of Revelation, chapter 4, verse 3, that his countenance is of jasper and sardius. So that means that the creator of heaven and earth is a black Elohim. Okay, not made by man's hands. Okay, now, with that being said, the first man and woman that he created on the face of the earth from the dirt of the ground, which dirt is not white, okay, it's not pale colored, okay, dirt is brown or black or red, okay. So we know that the original people on the face of this earth, created in the image and the likeness of the Most High Yahuwah Elohim, were melanated people, the so-called black people. Now, I'm born and raised in Louisiana. On my dad's side, he said that we were Cherokee Indians. So with knowing that information, like myself, yourself as a black person, African American person, you can go and look at the hmdb.org, hmdb.org, and look up all the historical markers that are in your city. Or take, for instance, if I was still living in Louisiana, in New Orleans, which is where I was born and raised, I can go and look up the historical markers, HMDB historical markers in this for the city of New Orleans, which is where I was born, and go in around the city of New Orleans and look at those historical markers and see the names of the Native Americans that were in that area of where the marker has been placed. Okay. So we know that his history here in the United States of America has been whitewashed, okay, and also things that they have taken that are of ours, stolen identity, and also stolen inventions that they have whitewashed, okay, from country music and all that stuff. We're the ones that created country music, okay. So it's a known fact. We are the original people that the Most High Yahuwah created on the face of this earth. Okay, everybody else is a hybrid from us, from melanated people. Okay, so everything that the Most High Yahuwah created was melanated and had dark brown eyes, kinky curly hair that don't get lice in it. Okay, melanated skin. Okay, my mom is what, chocolate, dark chocolate woman, and my dad is even darker than me. Okay, he's more of the color of sardius and jasper, my dad. Okay, which they both have, transcended to heaven, both my parents. But my dad was not, chocolate or dark chocolate. He was more of the copper color, sardius, jasper color of Revelation chapter 4 verse 3, which is the complexion of Yahuwah Elohim, creator of heaven and earth, who created the so-called melanated people, so-called black people, so-called African descent people, or people, descendant of Africa, which you can consider America as a part of Africa, which Africa is not the original name. That is actually a colonizer name as well. Okay, so this land over here was divided into states. Okay, United States of America is divided into states. It was not called the United States of America. It was called Tamari. Okay, we know Africa was divided by colonizers into 54 countries. The continent of Africa was divided into 54 countries, which they called it El Kebilon. Okay, and in the Bible, that a lot of that region, Egypt, Cush, Canaanite, Negro land, Israel, Jerusalem, Ethiopia. Okay, it was not called Africa in the Bible. You're not going to find the word Africa in the Bible. You're not going to find the word America or the United States in the Bible, regardless of what translation of the Bible it is, regardless if it's in the Torah, the Besorah. You are not going to find those names in any of the historical holy scriptures, which is the Paleo Hebrew before it was changed into the modern Hebrew. You are not going to find those names. So, and that's the devil's work. That's Diablo. That's his name, that they call Hashatan, that they call Satan, that they call the devil, that they call Lucifer, the fallen one, and the other dummies that got deceived and ended up, getting kicked out of heaven along with him, following after the dummy. Okay. Who has done this? This is his doing. This is deception, to confuse, okay, to bring about confusion. So the Most High Yahuwah has brought people like myself and other teachers out here that the Most High Yahuwah has given understanding and revelation knowledge of the truth, because his word will not return back to him void. He said, we shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us free. And for whom the Son makes free or sets free shall be free indeed, which means your mind. Okay, the lies, the deception, the manipulation. Okay, nobody pale color, skin color that did not have melanin in it did not exist. Okay, back then there was no so-called thing as white people. Anything that has pale color skin, olive color skin with straight hair, black hair, they're all hybrids from us. Everything was melanated. Everything. So just like they say all skin folk ain't kinfolk, that is true. There are different nationalities. When you think about the original people and sticking to the melanated portion of humanity, which is what Yahuwah Elohim created in the beginning. Okay, so go to hmdb.org. Look up those historical markers if you have been told, and it has been verbally passed down, or even if you do have some historical documentation that you are of the Native American heritage, whether it be from your mom's side or your dad's side, and that oral history has been passed down to you, and you are still in that region of where they were born and raised before you were born, where your grandmother and your mom and your dad and your great grandparents, those who say that they are of Native American heritage, you go and look for those markers. If you have seen some without having to research them from the website, go and drive around your city from which you were born. Take, for instance, if I was still living in New Orleans, then I know where there some historical markers are in the city of New Orleans, where I can go and drive around and take pictures of those historical markers. And obviously, while you're standing there, you can just go ahead and just read it. But then if you obviously want to keep it as an educational tool for yourself to pass, on to your family members and friends, your children, nieces and nephews, you take a picture of it and see if your family bloodline on your mom or your dad's side, or if not both, have that Indian, the Native American tribe that you are a lineage of is on that marker. That will let you know the land that actually belongs to you and your people of the lineage of that Native American tribe. Okay, so take for instance the area that I'm in Texas was the Kickapoo. Okay, Kickapoo, Kickapoo Indians. And then they also had the Kashata Indians. Now, I'm just not learning about those two names. I didn't even know that those two Native American tribes even existed, because they don't teach us this in elementary school, junior high school, college, universities, HBCUs. They do not teach us about all of the Native American tribes that a lot of so-called black people, a lot of so-called African American people actually have both lineage. Like myself, I have on my dad's side the lineage of the copper color original Native American people who were already on, excuse me, on this land that we call America. But then on my mom's side, my great-great-grandmother, whose name was Elizabeth Manigault, who was a slave in New Orleans, Louisiana, she came out of the west coast of Africa from slavery. Okay, now I don't know if she was born from parents who first came from the west coast part of Africa through the transatlantic slave trade, and then she was just born here, or if it was actually by herself that she came over here. But once I got my DNA done with AfricanAncestry.com, all black owned staff, all black owned founders, been around longer than Ancestry.com, been around longer than 23andme.com, and all black staff, AfricanAncestry.com, and they do not sell your genetic information. Once they get your results, they destroy your genetic information once they get your results. And they have the largest database in the world because they test your DNA against 33,000 lineages from 35 out of the 54 countries of Africa. Okay. But they do not have a database for the copper-colored Native American people who were already here. Okay, so maybe that's something that they can work on, because like myself, my dad said that we have a Cherokee Indian in from in us. And my dad looked like an Indian, okay. And then my grandpa, he actually looked like Revelation. He actually looked like Yahusha. He actually looked like Yahuwah. He was a dark brown skin, like feet burnt like brass. He looked like the Revelation chapter 1 verse 14, and he had snow white hair. Okay, he looked like the drawings that our people have drawn to show us the true image of Yahusha and the true image of Yahuwah. Okay, which are very, very much melanated, brown skin, copper color. Okay, sardius and jasper. Dark chocolate, dark brown, kinky curly hair. That's what my grandfather, my dad's dad, looked like. But they looked like Native Americans. They didn't look like people from Africa. They looked like the copper-colored Native American people, the indigenous people that were already here in this region on this land of America. Okay? So do that research. Look up the historical markers. If you know that you are Choctaw, Cherokee, or whatever the name Native American name is that was orally passed down from your mom's mom, and your mom's mom, and so on and so forth, and even from your dad's side. Your grandpa, your great grandpa, your great 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 grandpa, whatever that oral information is, go and search that up. Look up those historical markers. Also, you can go into the government archives as well and look up the information about the Native Americans and stuff like that. Do your research. Okay? Do your research, because all black people did not originate from over here in America. A lot of us, like myself, have both lineage. Okay, we have the lineage of so-called Africa, where our ancestors came over here and put into slavery. Then we also have from one of the sides of our parents, the Native American people who were already over here on this land that they call America. Copper color, brown color skin people with wavy, kinky, curly hair, dark brown eyes, melanated skin. Okay, who were already over here. So like myself, on my dad's side, I have the Native American, and on my mom's side, I have from out of the west coast of Africa. 99.7% Fulani and Yoruba is my lineage from my mom's side, from my mom's side. Okay? That's 4 generations. I make 5 generations. So my mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother, and my great great grandmother, she was the one that was a slave. The great great grandmother was the one that was the slave, Elizabeth Manigo. And since I've got my DNA done, now we know that Elizabeth Manigo, who was a slave, is of Fulani and Yoruba descent out of Yoruba land that they call Nigeria. Okay? So do your research. It's very important that every single last one of us, every single last African American, every single last black person here in the United States of America, get your DNA done by AfricanAncestry.com, because they do not sell your genetic information. They destroy it once they get your results. And they're testing it against 33,000 lineages. So you may not get your Native American DNA from this company, but at least you will be safe to know, or secure to know, that they will not be selling your genetic information to the same people who enslaved us and who have used us as guinea pigs and doing all forms of, mad scientist tests on our bodies without our consent and without our family's consent. Okay? So it's very important that you know who you are. Yes, you know who you are based upon you receiving Yahushua Hamashiach, that they call Jesus, as your master and savior. And that you know that you are now a part of the kingdom of Yahuwah. You have been made the righteousness of Yahuwah in his son Yahushua Hamashiach. So you know that. You know you are a child of the Most High Yahuwah, which makes you royalty. You are a king and a queen in the kingdom of Yahuwah, the heavenly kingdom of Yahuwah. But it is very important that you know your earthly lineage as well, because the Most High Yahuwah speaks of that in his holy word, in the holy scriptures, about ethnic groups. So it's important that you know this information, okay? And just don't go by the oral historical information that was passed down, just in case there's some gaps. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay? Because I could have taken the same sentiment and say, well, my people from here, we're not from Africa. But then once I'm listening to my dad, he's saying Cherokee. And then on my mom's side, we know, and we had a picture before Hurricane Katrina took place and destroyed the pictures that my grandmother had of my great great grandmother Elizabeth Manigo, who was the slave. When you're looking at my grandmother, you're looking at my great great grandmother. My grandmother looked more like my great great grandmother than she looked like my great grandmother. Okay? So, and we had a picture of my great great grandmother Elizabeth Manigo, who was a slave. And so she's the one that is of the lineage of the Fulani and the Yoruba people out of the west coast of Africa, out of Yoruba land that they call Nigeria, the Fulani and the Yoruba people. So That's on my mom's side. So you see what I'm saying? So you have to, everybody, you can't be all, and this is for every single last black person that was born and raised here in the United States of America. So you cannot be dogmatic about, well, I don't have to do no DNA test and all that type of stuff because I know, because it was passed down oral and stuff like that. We know that we are this, we know that we are Choctaw, we know that we are this, do your DNA test, because you don't have no historical documents, because of the way things went down, all the evil, demonic, demon stuff that went on against our people here in the United States of America. A lot of our stuff was burned. A lot of our stuff was taken away. A lot of things we were not able to keep. A lot of things that we were not able to continue to have, that was stolen from us in terms of historical documents. So we cannot be dogmatic about we are actually this type of Native American. Because you're going to end up finding out that you do have some bloodline DNA lineage of the people that came out of Africa. But also, too, remember that these continents were connected. America and Africa were connected as a landmass, okay? You have to think about that as well. There's historical documents showing these two continents being connected, and a lot of the other continents also being connected. As you can see, even that area that is it was called Palestine, now they call it Israel. You see that that's connected to Africa, and even the portion that has the body of water in between the Israel and Africa, you can see where that had split up. It's called the Horn of Africa, and you can see where that split off from Africa. And there's actually a historical marker that's there from at the border of Egypt and Israel, showing you that Israel, which was actually called Palestine, is part of Africa. It's connected to, fully connected to Africa, as well as all of that other area that is Yemen and what is that? I don't know if that's Iraq or Iran or not Lebanon. I think Lebanon is above Israel. I'm not looking at a map right now. But yeah, all of that was connected also to Africa. When you look at the Tartarian map. So you have to get your DNA done. And I suggest you excuse me, that you do it with AfricanAncestry.com, mainly because they destroy your genetic information. If you care about, not having your genetic information sold to the highest bidder, just like they do, here in America, they don't respect your privacy. They don't respect your data. Okay. Here in the United States of America. And when you're searching, you got to click on, privacy and all that type of stuff, and click on incognito in order for your information not to be shared by Google and some of these other search engines, because they're disrespectful. Okay, the United States of America and its colonizer people, they're very disrespectful. That's obvious. You got to be disrespectful. You definitely are disrespectful if you gonna be racist toward another group of people and enslave them for over 400 years and steal their land and try to continue to control their people and control their resources and steal their artifacts, don't want to give their historical artifacts back to them. Yeah, you very disrespectful. Okay. And just because you weren't a part of being a colonizer and being an enslaver, you are the descendant of them. So that means them same demons that was on them is on you. You got their blood, that bloodline that you got, it came from them. It came from the colonizers. It came from the enslavers. It came from the disrespectful ones. Okay, the lineage of evil. Okay, so, but for my melanated people that I'm speaking to in this video, because I'm for my people, because everybody else is against us. Very few of any other ethnic group is actually for us, so-called black people, so-called African American people, who don't have no disdain and no lies in their mind about, who we about us, and then, decide to have the mindset that they're gonna, treat us like we the scum of the earth, and like we're unintelligent and we're not smart and we're not wise and we're not chosen, because we are the chosen of the Most High Yahoo, and we are intelligent, we are wise, we are the original people, the original bloodline by DNA of the creator of heaven and earth. There's only one Elohim, one true Elohim, and his name is Yahuwah, and he has proven that. Everything else made by man's hands comes from the pit of hell. Any other so-called man-made religion, because religion is man-made, it don't have nothing to do with the creator of heaven and earth. That's no such thing. That word is not anything dealing with him. Religion, it don't have anything to do with him. Nothing. Don't have nothing to do with the holy scriptures that we call the Bible, the Torah, the Basora. Don't have nothing to do with the original Paleo Hebrew, the original language that the Most High Yahuwah created. Okay, don't have nothing to religion on that word. Okay, so we have to continue to wake up, continue to be led by the Ruach HaKodesh, that is called the Holy Spirit, by way of the holy word. We have to be led by the word. The word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. We have to continue to seek the Most High Yahuwah and his word, so that he will continue to bring about information, the truth, the knowledge of who we are as a people, because that was stolen from us. And they refuse to teach it because they don't want their children to feel bad about the evil, wicked, demonic things that their descendants did. But they want to remind us and keep us in the mind frame of how they kept us in slavery, how they colonize us, how they continue to be racist and mean-spirited and evil-spirited toward us, and make movies and bring out a new movie every single year to remind us about slavery and about plantations and our people being enslaved in plantations, and our women being raped by the plantation owner, and our people being whipped with whips, and our children being used as gator bait, and and us being called boy and girl, and grown men having to walk up the street and put their head down and couldn't even say good morning or hi ma'am to a white woman, okay, as they're walking up the street, having to go in the back door of establishments, white and black, only water fountains. Oh yeah, they're fine with, reminding us of the atrocities that they did to us, but they don't want to be held accountable and take responsibility for the evil and the wickedness that they did to our people. Thus being said, they have not given us reparations for the over 400 years, because slavery was already going on for 100 years before the first slave ship came over here to what they call America. Slavery was already going on 100 years before this America slavery that took place for 400 years of free labor. Okay, so there shouldn't be anything that so-called black people, so-called African American people should be paying for, because this is our land. A lot of us have dual bloodline in us, like myself, for this region of this landmass that they call America, and from the landmass over in Africa. Okay, so don't have that mindset about, oh, I don't need to get my DNA done. You just need to get your DNA done with the right group of people who have integrity and who have character and who have said by way of their own word and have put it in writing that we are not about selling your genetic information. We want you to know who you are, get you your results so you can have an identity more than just I'm black, or I'm black American, or I'm African American. I am an American born here in America, but I am of African descent. Or I was born here in America, so I know that I'm a black American. Where's your documentation other than the oral information? Because I still felt in my spirit, I still, we don't have no document. I need more than oral document information that was given to me. I need some historical. I need some tangible. Yeah. Okay. Just like you had all of these so-called black men, so-called African-American men who were accused of crimes that they did not commit and was placed in jail, placed in prison, placed in penitentiaries for 20, 30 years. And they did not commit the crime, did not admit to committing the crime, said that they did not commit the crime. And then DNA proved and showed that it wasn't their DNA that was on the crime scene. So they had to be released from out of prison. Okay, this is a type of evil that our people has had to deal with in this country. And not only here in this country, America, but also in the other colonizer named country that they call Africa. So, but it's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to wake up the dry bones. Okay. It's time for us to fully wake up, fully know who we are, fully take charge of our identity, who we are, and not continue to take any bull crap off for nobody on the face of this earth. Okay. It's that time. It's time for us to fully know who we are and to walk in our rightful heritage. So my battery is getting low. So, but it's time for us to walk in our rightful heritage. Okay, hold on. Let me see how much battery I got. I can't really see because when your battery gets slow, then the light on your phone, on your video goes out. So, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Get your DNA done with AfricanAncestry.com because they do not sell your DNA information. And if you don't have any tangible historical documents of your Native American heritage, then start doing your research on that as well so you can have that information too. Okay, this is very important because all this land, all of this land that's here in America does not belong to all these other ethnic groups that have commercial land and residential homes on the land. The land still belongs to the Native Americans. Land over here was taken by force from our people. The land still belongs to us. Therefore, we shouldn't be paying no taxes. We're not supposed to be being policed like we are. And they know this. This is why they try to hide and keep us from knowing our historical information. But it's your job, it's your responsibility to go and do what you know to do. Okay? Because this stuff is going to come back into our hands. Land of milk and honey is not only just in Africa, which is where everything started when the Most High Yahuwah created man and woman in his likeness and in his image, and created all the animals and the plants and everything in the water, during the beginning. Okay, so yes, go do that. Go do that. Know that I love you. Most High Yahuwah loves you, and share with me once you do get that information. Email me and let me know, what you find out, because I love to learn about that stuff. Make sure you share it as well, because if you are looking at this video, then that means you have your own YouTube channel. So make sure you share that information with others, because the Most High Yahuwah is using each one of us to be a blessing to each other, to share important information with each other that he gives to each of us individually. We have to share when we are led to by the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, with the rest of the body of the 12 tribes of Israel, the Hebrew people, the Israelite people, the true lineage of the creator of heaven and earth, Yahuwah. So be blessed, family. Shalom. And till next time.